Okay, so this video is not for the spiritually dead. You know, I'm only speaking to chosen ones, people who actually have a soul, people who actually have a spirit in this time, in this day and age, and they're not deceived. That's who I'm talking to. To the rest of the people, see ya, scatter, bye, unless you want to be edified. So anyways, this video is for the chosen ones. Now, a lot of people come online and they say, I'm chosen, just to use it for views. But us chosen ones have the exact same story. We can identify one another because we have discernment, and our stories are the same. There's relatability, and it never wavers, it never changes. It's the same thing. Usually the story goes like this. We always preferred loneliness. We always isolated ourselves in our rooms, basements, to pursue creative crafts, to try to figure out what our gifts were. We didn't like company because we had a little bit of discernment, not crazy discernment, but we always felt off when we were around other people because we realized they weren't genuine. There was fluff to their character. There was impurities in their character, or they would blatantly attack us in certain areas, so we would just stray away entirely. Maybe we were popular, but we preferred loneliness. We never really fit into anything. We always changed the atmosphere. We always stood out like a sore thumb, and that's just how it was. But we preferred loneliness. And to add to that, we may have faced some very traumatic events, crazy experiences that a lot of other people probably haven't been through. And the reason being for this, why I think we preferred loneliness and silence, is because we were escaping the busyness to try to find God, right? We liked the truth. We were trying to find our truth, trying to find the purpose. So maybe we were always into New Age or manifesting and trying to figure out all of these, like really trying everything under the sun to get to the truth, to get to God. So we were always alone because we realized everything was just lies, and it was drama, and it was cycles, and it was just nonsense, and it was a waste of time and energy, and we just wanted to separate ties and just be gone and be done with all of it. So we always tried to, retreat and be by ourselves. But the reason we faced traumatic events, evil things, I'm talking like really dark things. Maybe you've seen somebody pass away. Maybe you've seen something like that. Car accidents, suicidal thoughts, just ridiculous things. The reason being is because you were chosen, right? But you weren't saved. God offers covering. He offers protection. Now, that was always there because you were chosen. But you lacked discernment. You were foolish. You didn't have wisdom. So you would put yourself in dumb situations, and the enemy would take full advantage of that, and he would try to hook you to addiction. He would bring you to certain circumstances that were very evil, that would traumatize you. Right? Like trying to make you retreat, shrink, anything he could do to keep you away from God or to hide who you were. That's what was done by everybody. There was nobody, and I mean nobody, who told you who you were. There was nobody who supported you. There was nobody who tried to awaken that person inside of you, right? And God definitely did see this. That's why he's like, come with me, let's retreat. But anyways, the enemy took full advantage of that, and he wanted to get you hooked to distractions, hooked to addictions, wanted to destroy your mind with a traumatic event, or make you an alcoholic, or make you addicted to certain things, or, if you were gifted in a certain area, he would attack that heavily. But it was mostly just to mess you up, lead you away from God, or try to prolong that process for as long as he possibly could. So you couldn't come to God. Because the moment you come to God, you understand who you are. Nobody can tell you anything. And you start speaking from the truth. That's all you offer is the truth. And you know who you are, so you can't be shaken. You can't be wavered. You can't be pushed in any other direction. And obviously Satan, Jesus says Satan is the god of this world. And who is Satan? Well, he's the father of all lies. And the father of all lies doesn't want you waking up to the truth, because the moment you wake up to the truth, you're going to speak the truth, and you're going to save souls that Satan has been diligently working to enslave, to keep in the kingdom of darkness with trickery, deceit, cunningness, lies, all of this stuff, programming, whatever. So he was trying to do the same to you, trying to prolong the process. But now you're here. You know, a lot of people can pick up the Bible and become chosen, but a chosen one's story is always the same, is it not? Loneliness, crazy traumatic events, you know, and yeah. So anyways, here we are. And yeah, this journey of faith, walking with God, is hard. It's lonely. And all of that loneliness, all of those attacks, learning attacks, being in certain situations, experiences, has prepped us for this moment. Because now we're on the straight and narrow where we need discernment, where being alone is going to be second nature. That's going to be our lives, because it's the straight and narrow for a reason, right? People take Christianity at its surface level and they don't go to the next level or the next level or the next level. They stay at a certain level where they're comfortable and they don't make that transition, or they don't continually break through and break through and break through, because Christianity and God has multiple sacrifices, crossroads, and things you have to leave behind so you can grow in that relationship. You know, you can't have unrighteous relationships, wicked relationships, while trying to become more righteous and more holy. You can't grow in God being around ungodly people or having ungodly habits. You can't strive to seek the truth while you're surrounded by lies or hooked to the lies, or, you know, even having lies attached to you, or that. So it comes with a lot of sacrifice, but all of that was just prep for this moment. But it's a hard walk for a lot of reasons. I mean, the spiritual warfare is absolutely insane at times, and maybe that's due to our fault, because we're not fully plugged into the truth. We don't have the full covering. We're not in full obedience. We don't have the wisdom and the insight of God fully, and that's something we have to work on fully trusting God, fully having that faith and walking in the armor of God. And we would experience less attacks, but this is just a difficult path. And coming into God, building that relationship, I didn't realize how real this actually is. And the reason it's difficult, because you are diving into more truth. You thirst for the truth, and you continually want to build that relationship with God, right? And this is where the huge separation comes from, to where you become alienated, which God said his people are a chosen generation, a priesthood, peculiar people, alienated, all of these things, which you do become. But the separation comes because these people are giving into more lies, falling for more lies. You are pursuing truth and diving deeper into truth, and they are pursuing lies and diving deeper into lies. You are pursuing the spirit, feeding the spirit. They are pursuing the flesh and feeding the flesh. You are pursuing righteousness and holiness, and they are pursuing wickedness and sinfulness. There is a big divide, and you cannot hold on to the world while trying to grow your relationship with God. That's why things have to be sacrificed, left behind. And it's the closest people. Why is it the closest people? Because they remember the old you. They want to bring you back down to that person that you used to be, right? They don't feel, or they have a feel or a need to have a hand on what you're doing, and they're not from God. So if you have a low season or a low moment, they will pretend to be like a hero to try to scoop you up, or try to detour you, or offer you poor advice that's not from a God, to strip the purpose. Like, they're of no use, to be honest, because the world in that relationship, those relationships to you are flesh and blood, right? You are friendly with them. You had great relationships when it was flesh and blood, when you weren't operating in the spirit. And that person may have the best intentions in mind. They may mean well. They may love you in the flesh and blood side of things, but spiritually there's demonic influence inside of them that is working against you, trying to rob some certain thing, and they may not even know it, right? A lot of these people are under demonic influence That's why broad is the path to destruction, which leads to hell, where demons go, and straight and narrow is the path to salvation. But it gets difficult because you are pursuing truth and you are going further and further and further down that road. But the broad path is going further and further and further in the opposite direction. And once you understand and you come to the realization that God is truth and there's no other way to go, because you're not going to turn back to the world once you understand and you come into realization that this is the truth. There's nowhere else to go. What are you going to be like? Oh, I'm going to drop the truth and go into a world full of lies and go back to my old habits and my old ways? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. So you continually walk down this path and sacrifice more, leave more behind. And you have to, for multiple different reasons, because this world is operating on lies. They stand for lies. When you stand in the truth firmly, if you were to go back into the world boldly with the truth, they would shave edges off the truth so it appeases their ears, so it appeases where the world's going, right? That's what they want to do with the scripture. They want to bend, distort it so it can continually fit into where the world's going, which is more wickedness, more evilness. And that's modern day Christians. They want to continually bend the scriptures to fit where the world's heading, which is to hell. And when they're at the gates of hell, they will still be bending the scriptures like, yeah, it's okay to cut up children. It says in the Bible, I believe that will actually happen. And if you were to go into the world, this is why God has called you out of the world, because you could not hold on to the truth. You could not retain the truth if you were around people who are constantly afraid of that conviction, constantly trying to dull that message so they could live in their own evil desires, live in their own sin. They don't want to be convicted. They don't want to change. You know, people don't change. Some people never change. God even says that they're under a strong delusion because they rejected the truth so much and they're in a reprobate mind. Like, some people legitimately don't change. They have the scales over their eyes. And reprobate mind, strong delusion, we see that with people who claim evolution is real. We came from monkeys, and they stand firmly on that belief. That's a strong delusion, right? Or that the Big Bang happened, that nothing created everything, and they strongly believe in that, which just makes absolutely no sense. Or just other strong delusions like aliens exist, a cover-up for the rapture. You know, they are under a strong delusion. And it's only going to get worse because they're worldly. And who owns the world? Satan, right? God said Satan is the god of this world. And what are Satan's personality traits? Well, he's the father of all lies. This world is the father of all lies. This media is the father of all lies. This secular music is the father of all lies. All of it belongs to Satan. How so? Well, the rap, it's all about killing in the Bible. Commandments, do not murder. It's all about killing, constant programming. These rappers definitely get paid to talk about that. There's even rappers who come out who say they get paid to talk about murder, drugs, and all of these things. And that's exactly what Satan would want you to get you wrapped up in. Addiction, killing, murder, violence, being against each other, division. That's where the rap music's at. And I don't know about all the rest, but it's all nonsense. And the media is all lies. It's all fears. And the Bible says God does not give you a spirit of fear, but the righteous are as bold as lions. Okay, the news is all about doubt. It's all about plaguing you and riddling you with anxiety, but that's definitely not from God. It's all lies, right? It's all fear. It's all about death. It's all about trauma. That's what Satan's about. He's about death. He's about trauma. He's about lies. He's about all of those things. And really, what all of that does when it's all used together is it just mushes your mind, right? It turns your mind to mush so they could take it all the way. God said, guard your ear gates, guard your eye gates, because what you take in contaminates your heart. And if you're constantly keeping an ear out for the world's belief in submission to what the world has to offer you and its beliefs, God says this world's beliefs is under the control of the evil one. So if you're listening to this world's beliefs, the media, the music that's under control by the evil one, you're going to have a specific outcome at the end of it. You're going to become a specific being with a specific mindset at the end of all of this. God says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. God renews your mind, restores your mind from what this world has done to it and the beliefs it has implanted into you, imparted into you, the lies, the deception, the doubt, the fear, the insecurity, all the nonsense, all the bondage, all the chains, all the things that are holding you down and keeping your spirit restricted and stealing your purpose, all of those things that the world has given you, that the world has fed you, God will renew your mind, okay? So if you want to continually believe in the world's beliefs and not God's beliefs, you will be led down to spiritual destruction and you will have a specific outcome. But some people never change. You could tell them the truth day in and day out, and I'm sure you have chosen ones, and these people are oxes being led to the slaughterhouse, and you could warn them, you could clap inside of their faces, and some of them will just rejoice and clap their hoofs and run in there. Like, really what it boils down to, what this world is, what the media is, and what's going on, they are seducing an ox, manipulating an ox, making it sound beautiful, making it sound like a joyous ride, that it's going to be amazing, that it's awesome. You know, being that angel that masquerades as an angel of light. That's what the devil does. Oh, come over here. This is where you want to be. Leading that ox into the slaughterhouse. That's what this world is doing, right? And it will make you think that's the best path, but you won't see that destruction until you are at the end of it. And that's why God says, I have called you out of this world, and the truth will set you free, not a bunch of lies. But anyways, this was just kind of me rambling on with this video, but you got to be very cautious with your spirit, what you feed your spirit, what you meditate on. And you got to stay prayed up, covered in the blood of Jesus, because even if you are weary, even if you're watchful of what you watch and what you listen to, that's not enough. You got to guard your spirit, because in the Bible, you know, there's scriptures about demonic oppression, people being oppressed by demons, the man who was mute and blind and being harassed by demons, and Mary Magdalene, where she was tormented by demons and led astray from the disciples and Jesus, and was doing actions and doing things she didn't really want to do, lashing out, taking unnecessary steps, or going into places she didn't want to go, and then regretting it later. And you see demonic attacks. You see people being delivered from demons. Job said a spirit glided past him and the hair stood up on his skin. And it talks about how your vessel, you know, a spirit leaves seeking rest but finds none, and then comes back to its rightful owner. And Mary Magdalene having 7 inside of her, and that guy who had legions of demons inside of him. And there's a lot of demonic possessions. And if you don't believe in the Bible, one of the most proven history books in the world, with several manuscripts, prophecies that are unfolding in real time, revelations, and the synchronicities, and just the real-time events that are playing out, and how everything is actually the opposite, and how the Bible said it would be the opposite, how this world is under the control of the evil one, and how people are going to be in the end times, and they're actually turning out to be that way. And literally, you know, just Jews or God-specific people, and how people are going out and doing all these things. Like, everything in this Bible has been predicted. It's unfolding in real time. There's no other book like it. And that's why we are fascinated. That's why we are drawn to it. Because you can't invest your energy. You can't believe in something. You know, for example, put this book to the side, and let's just say it's a Harry Potter book or something stupid. If it didn't hold no validity, if it didn't have no weight, if it didn't do anything for your spirit, for your mind, for your soul, if it wasn't predicting things, if it didn't have revelation, if it didn't have manuscripts, if it didn't have all these things, if it didn't continually show you that it was the truth, you wouldn't be wasting your time and your energy, and nobody else would. Presidents wouldn't be wasting their time and energy. Like, nobody would be drawn to this, right? And the devil wouldn't be trying to shun this or attack this. And like, literally all of this, you know, we wouldn't be here making videos, making channels, if it didn't have spiritual pull to it. Spiritual pull to it. Not delusions in the mind, but actual spiritual pull with millions in the world. But yeah, we see that time and time again with demonic possessions, unclean spirits, impure spirits. A lot of these people are under demonic influence. They're under the control of demonic influences. And we're starting to see people pick up these unclean spirits, these programs, these downloads from the world, adopting these world beliefs. And the Bible said there would be increased lawlessness. There would be perilous times. People would be disobedient, abusive, not lovers of good, acting like their own gods, but denying the power thereof, slanderous, gossiping, all of these things, which is demonic influence. You see the people of God becoming more righteous, more pure, more sanctified, and you see the fruit of these demons becoming more corrupt, becoming more moralist as times progress, more degraded in the spirit. And it's definitely due to unclean spirits. The spirits that have been around, the demonic influences that have been around, are clearly getting stronger. Or the media, the programming, the developing of the mind, the beliefs that are coming from the world, the media, the music, and all of that is just slowly transforming them, is slowly shaping them, is slowly molding them to where they will accept the beast system. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for this video. You know, I was going to go in depth and talk about a whole bunch of things, but honestly, I'm quite tired, so I'm going to go to bed now.